what's up, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, Friday, November 11th, 2022. Got a pretty good slate of games to go through today. Joined by my dad, Tony Gonzalez. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Get ready to check the sound here in just a second. Got some NBA games today. There's like 3 college football games today. Some NCAA basketball. Of course, this weekend we have NFL and college football that we'll talk about those games. What'd you think of the Thursday night football game? The Panthers are winning games when I think they really want to lose.
Yeah, they didn't play that. They didn't play that great, but Atlanta
Check the sound here in just a second.
pretty terrible most times. So
Yeah, I think Carolina's wanting to lose games. Honestly, I think they want to get. They want, since they're in that rebuild mode, they want to get that high draft pick. I think that's part of the reason that they haven't brought Mayfield back and stayed with Walker. I don't think the owner really wants to win. You can say that maybe about a few teams this year as well, though. Before we get started, excuse me.
I did see where Matt Ryan's back practicing for the Colts.
Yeah, I saw that. I know they asked Jeff Saturday about it the other day, and he said that Ellinger was going to be the starter for this game, but he didn't commit that Ellinger was going to be the starter the rest of the season. So I'm not going to lie, I'm looking forward to see what we look like Sunday. We can't look no worse than what we were looking. I know you got a lot of people on TV making a big deal about them hiring Saturday, which some of the reasons that they're making a big deal out of it to me is ridiculous.
Well, it is unconventional to what most teams do. It's usually
different.
It's usually somebody that's already coaching in the organization. So I understand that a little bit, but some of the reasoning they're giving, I don't agree with some of the reasoning of what they're saying. I mean, it is a different. He owns the team. I don't think he's doing anything wrong by doing what he's doing. I think he wants some fresh eyes, somebody that he trusts to give him his opinion. I don't know. Now, again, I'm not saying that Saturday will be the coach next year. I kind of doubt it. But then again, if he goes out there and wins 5-6 games and they perform well and his ideas are working, then maybe he will be. I don't know. But I just, that's he owns the team. He's the one that paid, billions of dollars for it. And so it's his team.
Yeah, that's my thing is we can't do no worse than what we're doing. And why do you have to always do the same thing everybody else does? Just because everybody else usually hires an intern, just promotes somebody inside as an intern. Why do you have as an interim coach? Why do you have to do that for? I mean, and some of the reasons that they came up with, I'm not going to get into all that because then I just get fired up. But just some of the reasons that they're complaining about is, to me, is bullcrap. Because if it was the other way around, they'd be celebrating the guy instead of tearing the guy down like they have been. But before we do get started, happy Veterans Day. Thank you to everybody that served or is still serving. We appreciate everything that you guys do.
Yep, most
definitely. Yesterday, I didn't have a real good day yesterday on my picks. I'll be honest. I was it's on this paper. I was 5-4, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I went 5-4 yesterday. So for the week, my picks were 16-9, which isn't terrible, but isn't as good as it was last week. I had the football game right last night with Panthers winning, but I had the over the 40.5, and they scored 40 points.
I was 3 for 4 on the hockey, but I didn't do good on the NFL parlay at all.
I went 2-2 in college basketball, and I went 2-1 in the NBA.
Yeah, I was completely wrong on the NFL.
All right, let me get this pulled up. We'll go ahead and we'll go through the day's games, and then we'll do the day's games in the NBA and college basketball. Then we'll go into college football and NFL. Okay. I do have one pick for tonight's college football games. All right, in NBA, got a decent slate of games. There ain't a bunch of games, but there's a decent slate. First game is the Denver Nuggets at the Boston Celtics. The Celtics are 4.5-point favorites, minus 184 on the money line. The Nuggets are plus 154 on the money line. Over under is at 230.5. Both these teams have been playing pretty well to start the season out. I think they're both are like 8-3 or something like that. They both have decent records. I like Boston in this game just because they're at home, basically. Because Denver's a good team. They have Murray and they have Porter back now to go along with Jokic. But so Boston's a good team too. Uh, and being at home, I give them a little bit of an advantage there. Uh, I do like the over the 230.5 in that game. Then you have the Suns at the Orlando Magic. Suns are 7.5 point favorites, minus 310 on the money line. The Magic are plus 250 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 216.5. I really like the Suns in this game at the minus 7.5. The Suns are a lot better team than what the Magic are. And the Magic have been struggling here to start the season now as well. Magic are a young team. So I like the Suns at the minus 7.5. I like the over the 216.5 in this game as well. Then you have the Detroit Pistons at the New York Knicks. The Knicks are 8.5 point favorites at home, minus 350 on the money line. The Pistons are plus 280 on the money line. Over under for this game is at 225. I like the Knicks to win this game, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Pistons cover. Knicks have been playing pretty decent, but I still don't trust them yet. The Pistons are a young team that's starting to put it together a little bit. So I kind of favor the Pistons at the plus 8.5. Like I said, I think Knicks win, but I could see Detroit covering. Milwaukee Bucks at the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs are the Spurs are 2 point favorites, minus 132 on the money line. The Bucks are plus 112 on the money line. Over under for this game's at 219.5. I like the Bucks here on the money line. It's not very often you can get the Bucks as underdogs, and the reason the Bucks are underdogs is Giannis is going to be out tonight, and so is Drew Holiday is going to be out tonight. But the Bucks have played well. They played well the other night without Giannis. They still got a pretty decent team. So I still think they have a good shot of winning this game against the Spurs. So I like the Bucks on the money line at the plus 112. You got the Raptors at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Raptors are 5 point favorites on the road, minus 205 on the money line. The Thunder are plus 172 on the money line. Over-unders at 219.5. I favor the Raptors to win this game, even though they're on the road. OKC's not consistent enough for me to back them. Then you have the Timberwolves at the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are 4 point favorites, minus 168 on the money line. The Timberwolves are plus 142 on the money line. Over under for this game's at 234. I like the Memphis Grizzlies at home at the minus 4. Timberwolves have been playing decent as well, but I like this Grizzlies team. They have a solid core, and then of course John Morant as well. You have the Cleveland Cavaliers at the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors are 2.5 point favorites at home, minus 142 on the money line. The Cavs are plus 120 on the money line. Both these teams have Cavs have a better record than the Warriors do right now. Cavs are a pretty good team. But I like the Warriors at home. Warriors are 4-1 at home. The Warriors have been struggling on the road. So I like the Warriors at home here at the minus 2.5.
That's your question real quick. Why do you think they've been struggling so much on the road this year?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's just Steve Kerr trying to get used to some of the young guys they're playing, getting used to the rotations or what. But they've looked like a totally different team for some reason on the road. And maybe it's because some of these younger guys aren't used to playing on the road. But I mean, they got a lot of guys back. But in the NBA, you're gonna go through stretches where you don't play good here and there.
Yeah, I just wonder because they're usually a pretty good road team. So I just wonder why they were struggling so much.
Yeah,
like you said, it's early in the year.
Yeah, it is weird. I wonder the same thing because like you watch them play and it's like, why are you guys having so much trouble on the road? Especially like Curry dropped 47 the other night and they won. But one thing, they got to tighten up their defense a little bit. But I think the Warriors will be all right. They're still my favorite to win it. Then the last game is the Sacramento Kings at the Los Angeles Lakers. The Kings are 4.5-point favorites, minus 188 on the money line. The Lakers are plus 158 on the money line. Over-unders at 231.5. I like the Kings here. It was at -4 earlier, so it's moving up. People are putting money on the Kings. No LeBron James tonight for the Los Angeles Lakers. Anthony Davis is questionable, so I'm not sure if he'll play or not. I think he probably ends up playing, but I think he's more of a game time decision. But they've already announced that LeBron's going to be out with a growing strain. Nothing's tore, so that's good news for the Lakers. So he shouldn't be out too long. You wouldn't think. And it's a good thing if this is going to happen. At least it's happened real early in the season, maybe. And then maybe he can stay healthy. But without the Lakers struggle with LeBron, so I can't back him without LeBron.
No.
So I like the Kings. Like I said, it's went up to 4.5, but I'll still take it at the 4.5. It was 4 this earlier today. Did you have anything for NBA?
Nothing for NBA.
All right, that's all the NBA games that is today. NCAA basketball, I'm not going to go through all of them because there's 1,000 games, but I will go through I will give my picks out the games I like here. I like Duke minus Duke minus 27.5 against USC Upstate. That's another one of them situations where you got one of the big powerhouse schools playing against the smaller school. Then I like Kentucky at 18.5. They're playing Duquesne. Kentucky's at home, so I like Kentucky at the minus 18.5. I like Purdue minus 24.5. And of course, I forget who they're playing, and I didn't write it down. And there's 1,000 different college basketball games. I'll find it here in a second. And then the last game I like in college basketball is Wisconsin at the minus 4.5. So I like 4 games in today. Here, I'll see if I can find who Purdue's
I'm
playing.
surprised you didn't pick on that Gonzaga game.
I almost did.
I've got that in a parlay.
I'm actually surprised that Michigan State and Gonzaga are playing this early in the season.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was it? It was Purdue. If you want to go ahead with your college.
Okay, I've got a parlay for Friday. I got Michigan State at Gonzaga. I'm going to take Gonzaga, and the points I have was minus 10.5. Then I've got College of Charlestown at North Carolina. On that game, I'm going to take the over 157.5. And then to finish up the parlay, I got Southern Florida at Auburn. I'm going to take Auburn and give up the points minus 20.5.
What'd you say you had on the Gonzaga game?
I got minus 10.5 in Gonzaga.
It's went up to 11.5.
Okay. So I've got a $10 bet on that would be worth plus 596. It'd be worth 69.60.
Purdue's playing Austin Pavey.
Austin P.
Yep. And Wisconsin is playing Stanford. Wisconsin, that's actually went to 3.5 instead of 4.5. So I even like that better.
That might be a decent game. Did you take Wisconsin or Stanford?
I took Wisconsin at the minus 3.5.
That'd be an interesting game.
And then college football, we got like 3 games tonight, and then a whole slate of games tomorrow. On tonight's games, there is one game I like, but tonight you have ECU at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's a 5.5-point favorite, minus 210 on the money line. Over-unders at 51.5. ECU's plus 172 on the money line. I like Cincinnati. This was 4.5 about 2 hours ago. And now it's at 5.5. So if you do like Cincinnati, I would get it in as soon as you can, because it looks like it could be moving up. Next game for tonight is Colorado at USC. USC's a 34.5-point favorite, minus 8,000 on the money line. Colorado is a plus 2,200 dog. Over under 66.5. I like USC to win this game, but I didn't take this game just because 34.5, so many points in football.
That's too many points.
And then last game tonight, you get Fresno State at UNLV. Fresno State's an 8.5-point favorite, minus 345 on the money line. And UNLV, is plus 270 on the money line. Over unders at 61.5. I like Fresno State to win the game, but I thought 8.5 was a little too many points for me to take Fresno State. So the only game I really the only game I'm giving out a pick and my best picks for tonight is going to be Cincinnati. Did you have anything for tonight on college?
No, not in college. I've got a NHL.
Okay, you go ahead. You go ahead with that.
I got an NHL for tonight. I got Tampa Bay Lightning at the Washington Capitals. I'm going to take Tampa Bay win money line. I've got the Minnesota Wild at the Seattle Kraken. I'm going to take the Kraken win money line. And then I've got the Pittsburgh Penguins at the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going to take Toronto win money line. I don't have the
all right.
Yeah.
And then the rest of college football for tomorrow, Saturday's college football. I like Tennessee minus 20.5 at home against Missouri. I also like LSU on the road at minus 3.5 against Arkansas. Then I'm going to take Oklahoma, or no, it wasn't Oklahoma. Excuse me, wrong game. Ole Miss plus 11.5 against Alabama. I'm not saying Ole Miss is going to win this game, but I think it's going to be a competitive game. And I think 11.5 points is too many. Ole Miss is at home. So I like Ole Miss plus 11.5. And the last game I'm taking in college football is North Carolina plus 4.5 against Wake Forest. I'm surprised. I'm surprised that North Carolina is an underdog in this game.
Yeah, I am too.
I really like North Carolina's quarterback as well, but I was surprised North Carolina's an underdog in this game. So I like North Carolina at the plus 4.5. Hell, I'd even take North Carolina on the money line at the plus 152 because I think North Carolina has a good chance of winning this game. It really surprised me when I saw they were underdogs. Did you have any college football?
Yeah, I've got a parlay for Saturday. I've got Maryland at Penn State. I'm going to take Penn State minus 10. I've got Georgia at Mississippi State. I'm going to take Georgia minus 16. And then I have TCU at Texas, and I'm going to take TCU plus 7. And $10 bet on that is plus 596 would be worth 69.60.
Going with TCU at Texas?
I'll take the plus points.
Yeah, I'd take the plus points. I think it's going to be a good game, real good game.
Oh, I imagine it will be.
I know I was catching a little bit of flack last night because I don't think TCU should have been number 4, and it's not really because of them. It's more because I don't think Tennessee should have dropped from 1 all the way to 5. When you lose to the number 2 team in the country.
I agree with that. I really do. The only thing is, I think that they probably wouldn't have dropped if it had been a closer game.
Yeah, but
I know what you're saying.
No, I understand what you're saying.
But TCU does have a couple of women's overranked teams.
No, I'm not saying TCU don't deserve to be up there.
Sometimes they give them.
Because I thought TCU should have been 5 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just glad they finally give somebody a chance. Normally they don't.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to see them up there, like because of that reason. Yeah. I just felt like they should have been 5 a couple weeks ago, and they finally moved them up. But I don't know. I didn't think Tennessee should have dropped all the way out of it.
What happens if let's say LSU makes it to the championship game and they play Georgia, and they beat Georgia? So LSU with 2 losses should go to the.
Yeah, they probably.
I mean, if they beat Alabama and Georgia in the same year, I don't know how you don't put them in.
No, I agree, but
and if that happens, does Georgia and Tennessee? Well, that would be Georgia's first loss, so I would say they stay in.
Tennessee's only had 1,
but by Georgia, is that not Tennessee out, or do you Georgia, Tennessee, and LSU all go, and then you just get either Ohio State or Michigan?
See, I could see something like that happen. You getting 3 teams from that same conference. I really do.
A lot of times you would think it'd be Alabama, but I think Alabama's in serious trouble.
Yeah, I think Alabama,
unless LSU gets beat.
Yeah, and then
and even if they tie,
LSU has to get beat
twice.
LSU would have to get beat, and Alabama would have to win beat Georgia for in the conference championship tournament.
Yeah, but they wouldn't meet
to have a chance.
They wouldn't meet in the conference championship tournament because right now, no, LSU is on the same side as Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah, if Alabama beats LSU, they could play Georgia in the SEC conference championship game because they're on separate divisions. Georgia and Tennessee are on the same side.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if LSU and Alabama ties, LSU has a tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
So there should be
Alright.
no. Georgia should have to. I mean, LSU
Okay.
should have to lose twice.
It could be. Yeah, you could be right on there. I hadn't looked at the tiebreaker. I was just saying, if Alabama only way Alabama's going to have a chance to make the college football playoffs is if somehow they make the conference championship tournament.
Now I don't know if they go
and beat Georgia.
I mean, conference record. I don't know if they just go by their side.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure how that goes, but I would think if they end up with the same exact record, since they beat them,
you would think. Yes, you would think.
But I'm not, 100% sure.
Yeah,
on that.
I wasn't even thinking about a tiebreaker. All I was saying is if somehow Alabama gets to that championship game and beats Georgia, then they'll put Alabama in,
even with 2 losses. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. LSU,
and I think LSU the same thing.
Yeah, I would think if LSU finishes with just 2 losses and wins the conference championship, they have to go.
Yeah. No, I agree. NFL for this weekend.
Well, another team everybody's forgetting about, it's just really playing well right now, is Oregon.
Yep.
I mean, Oregon lost to Georgia first game of the year,
and looked real good ever since.
So I mean,
that Bo Nix is really playing well. That quarterback,
they could very easily get back up in there.
NFL, I thought there was a few interesting games this weekend. Games I like is I like the Chiefs -9.5 at home against the Jaguars. I just don't think the Jaguars defense is going to be able to slow down the Chiefs enough, and I don't know if they'll be able to score enough points to keep it close. Next game I like is the Dolphins at the -3.5 against the Cleveland Browns. Dolphins are at home. Dolphins have been playing pretty good football. Then I like the Titans and against the Denver at home against Denver. You get the Titans at 2.5 points. I like that. Titans defense has been playing pretty damn good football. Hopefully they'll get Tannehill back. And then the other game I like is the Saints. And I forget who the Saints play now. I just passed it. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Saints play the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like the Saints at the -1.5, or you can go money line.
Where's that game at?
It's in Pittsburgh. Okay. And then I put together an underdog money line parlay. I like it's Seattle Seahawks plus 120 on the money line over the Tampa Bay Bucks. That game's in Germany. The Detroit Lions at plus 134 against the Chicago Bears. I think that game could go either way. And then I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts at the plus 180 against the Raiders. I know the Colts have a new coach. Haven't looked great the last couple games, but the Raiders haven't looked great either. I mean, the Raiders made New Orleans look like a damn Super Bowl team a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean? So I think all 3 of them teams have a good chance to win. So that's my underdog money line parlay for the weekend for NFL.
I have an NFL parlay, but first I want to ask you about a game because I originally had it in my parlay and I took it out after hearing some stuff. Jacksonville at the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City -9.5, -9.5. I was going to take Kansas City and give up the points, but Jacksonville so far this year has pretty much been within about 7 points almost every game that they've lost. And
they have been played quite a bit of close games.
And the quarterback has got like an 80% completion rating. I mean, even though I know he's had a couple bad games, overall he's played really well this year. And they do have a running game right now. Yeah. If they can run the football, they could give Kansas City problems. I just don't know if their defense is good enough.
Yeah, I don't know if their defense is good enough. And the only pushback on Trevor Lawrence is, his completion percentage is high, but here lately, a lot of that's been all check down, short stuff.
Yeah,
they haven't been able to really stretch the field. And they played a lot of close games, but if you look at their schedule, I don't think they've really played any of the top teams yet. 'Cause you got to remember, they played a lot of their division games, and that's the Colts, the Texans, the Titans, and all them teams aren't high scoring teams.
Yes, that's true.
But I mean, Jacksonville could go in there and keep it close and cover. It just looked to me, it seems like
they did beat San Diego though. Didn't
they did. Yep.
But San Diego's been up and down. They've been up and down.
Yeah, they did beat. You're all right. They did beat the Chargers. But and the reason I took the Chiefs is their offense to me, if the last couple of weeks I've seen them, looks like they're starting to click a little bit. You're starting to see Smith Schuster make some big plays and be that receiver that they were kind of hoping he would be, take a little pressure off Kelsey.
But
So
honestly, though, Chris, I mean, I know what you're saying, but that last game they won, Tennessee.
they would have lost that game if Tennessee would have had Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, they'd lost that game.
That too, but really, that game was won by their quarterback's legs.
Oh yeah, yep.
It wasn't won by his passing, and he threw all kinds of passes.
Yeah,
but it was won by him making 2 or 3 big plays on his legs, or they lose that game.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, because we've seen it.
That's what I was saying. That's why I like the Titans this week. That Titans defense is nasty.
I was going to take the Chiefs, and I changed my mind, and I ended up going with Chicago instead. But here's my NFL parlay. I took the Colts and the Raiders under 42.5 points. I took the Titans minus 2.5. Denver's playing them at Tennessee. I think it's at Tennessee.
Yes, it's Tennessee.
And then I took the Detroit against Chicago, and I took Chicago at 2.5 points.
Listen, I think it's at Tennessee. And what was the other one?
I took Chicago.
You took Chicago
minus 2.5 for Detroit. And the main reason I like Chicago there is I think the weather's going to be bad. I think golf's going to have a problem. I think it's going to be windy, cold, rainy, snowy, a little bit, a little mix.
Yeah.
I think that Chicago's run game is pretty good. I think Detroit's going to have problems.
Yeah, that game, I ended up going with in my money line underdog parlay. I went with the Lions, but that was the one that I was back and forth on because the Bears have looked better the last couple of weeks.
If there's playing
and the
Detroit,
Lions, you never know what the Lions offense.
If there's playing at Detroit, I'd have been a little bit more leery of it. But I think because of the elements there in Chicago, I think golf will have problems.
No, it very well could. All right. Well, my picks for the day are going to be for today for Friday. I like the Suns minus 7.5, Bucks money line, Warriors minus 2.5, and the Kings minus 4.5 in the NBA. College basketball tonight, Duke minus 27.5, Kentucky minus 18.5, Purdue minus 24.5, and Wisconsin at the minus 3.5. And in college football tonight, Cincinnati at minus 4.5. College football Saturday, Tennessee minus 20.5, LSU minus 3.5, Ole Miss plus 11.5, and UNC money line at the plus 152. And then the NFL, I like the Chiefs minus 9.5, Dolphins minus 3.5, Titans minus 2.5, and the New Orleans Saints minus 1.5. And then the underdog parlay I gave out for the NFL, Seahawks money line, Lions money line, and the Colts money line. Do you want to recap yours real quick?
I'll do my Fridays first. I got Friday college basketball. I got Michigan State at Gonzaga. I'm going to take Gonzaga minus 10.5. I got College of Charlestown at North Carolina. I'm going to take over 157.5. Then I got Southern Florida at Auburn. I'm going to take Auburn minus 20.5 in that game. $10 bet would be worth $69.60 plus $5.96. My NHL for Friday night, I got Tampa Bay Lightning winning money line at Washington. I got the Minnesota Wild at the Seattle Kraken. I'm going to take the Kraken win money line. Got the Penguins at the Maple Leafs. I'm going to take the Maple Leafs win money line on that parlay. And then my college football for Saturday, I've got Maryland at Penn State. I'm going to take Penn State minus 10. Then I've got Georgia at Mississippi State. I'm going to take Georgia minus 16. Then I have TCU plus 7 at Texas. $10 bet would be worth $69.60 plus $5.96. And then I've got my NFL parlay for Sunday. I got the Colts and the Raiders under 42.5. I've got Denver at Tennessee, Titans. I'm going to take the Titans minus 2.5. And then I have Detroit at Chicago, and I'm going to take Chicago minus 2.5.
All right. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. Like and follow us on YouTube and Twitch as well. I put all of anything about our shows I put on social media, all at Gonzo Sports Room on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find everything there. But I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and we will see you guys on Monday with another episode of Easy Money, a sports betting show.